back to the channel, continuing the team matchup from Thursday on July 25th. We're going to have Jonathan, skill level 5, representing My Bad, facing off against Pablo, skill level 3, representing Undateable. Getting ready for the lag here. Jonathan's going to be the one shooting with a 9 ball. Pablo's got the 5 for his lag ball. Jonathan wins the lag. It's going to leave Pablo to rack up for our start of this match. Skill level 5, Jonathan's going to have to get to 4 racks. And Pablo, as a skill level 3, is only going to need 2 in order to win this match. Almost with the 8 on the break. But dry, nothing in. Pablo's going to get to come to the table, and stripes look the easiest to start off with. Things are fairly well spread out. Pablo goes ahead and puts in the 2. 1-5 combo to get the 5 in. Lining up on the 4 for that far corner. I probably would have gone for the side pocket on that, but the best I could have hoped from the side pocket is probably bumping that 3 away from the 10. To give me a shot on that. Jonathan, without much to shoot out there. Cue ball pushed up against the 11. Didn't really give him a whole lot of options. Well, the 3 ball is now freed up. Puts the 14 in easily. Imagine he's going to go for that 15 next. His top shot on that. Being able to hold the cue ball there will give him the 11 fairly easily. And just a light touch. A little bit of forward roll. A little stun to get across for the 10. Be able to get that into the side pocket. $13 in the side as well, slightly off target. Bring Pablo back to the table. Lining up on the 7 there. That's a tight squeeze. Getting by the 13 for that. Bumps the 13. 7 doesn't go. Maybe he's checking his angle on the 9 up into the corner there. The stop shot on this 13, he should be able to turn around and go for the 9. This looks like the 12 ball up here next to the 5 is going to be the only thing that's, oh, he managed to move that. Nicely done. Although I'm not sure he got the angle he really wanted for this next shot. He does need to get down table for the 8 ball, which is going to be difficult if he tries to take this 12 all the way down. Looks like he's going for the side pocket, possibly bounce it off the 7 or a bank into the other side. I'm going to bet on a bank into the other side here with this shot. Oh, very close. And that would have had him lined up on the 8 as well. Very nice. Pablo's going to take a shot at the 4 there. Seven next. Probably hoping to bump the 6. He does it. Six-5 combo maybe for the next one. So what I would choose. Gently though, so that the 6 winds up in the pocket. Nope. Now his options are 6 all the way down or in the side here, but he wants to put some follow on it so he can get down to the 3. Nice long shot across the table there. Puts him on the 3 with an angle to kind of float over for the 8. And he does that. Bounces a little far back though. He might have wanted to put a little bottom left on that so he would have wound up with a better angle. Not sure where he wandered off to just now. Maybe to get something to mark the pocket. You should always bring that to the table with you before you start your match. And oh, he went for an extension. Again, something should route with. Getting a timeout now. Very quickly. And manages to sink the 8. 3 innings and Pablo's on the hill. Little discussion going on right now about Pablo not having marked the pocket or even indicated which pocket he was going for. Technical note in the rules, Jonathan would be within his rights to say you lost that rack. Me and my teammates, we do prefer to win at the table. So just letting him know he should have marked the pocket. Looks like the 2 in and the cue ball. So scratch is going to bring Jonathan to the table with ball in hand up there in the kitchen. Looks like Jonathan's going to line up for the 11 ball on the side there. The stripes are laid out pretty well for a run out. A little bit of draw on that. Not sure if he put enough draw or too much draw on it. He's looking at the 10 in the same side pocket. I imagine he might have wanted just a touch more draw on that, but this works. Nicely done. Options, lots of options here. Looks like he's going to go for the 15 at the moment, being the one that's kind of middle of the short rail down there. Most difficult to get a, nope, he's changed his mind. He's going to go for the 14. 15 isn't all the way on the rail, so it's not too terribly positioned for getting in. He's got a number of different ones he could take a shot at here to have shape on it. So goes ahead and lines up on the 9. Again, not sure if that's where he wanted to be. It does put him into a position, I believe that's the 10 or the 12 there, next to the side pocket. He could go for that now and take it all the way up. Looks like that's his plan. Oh, rattled in the pocket. Well, Pablo's got some options here. He is pretty close to that 4 ball though, so kind of limits his angles. I think he's going to try and put that 4 in the corner. Nice attempt at it. Kind of hard to get just the right angle when you're that close with the cue ball, but really close to having that put in. 13's blocked for Jonathan by the 5. 14's right on the corner of that pocket. Sure, he could cut that in. Problem with cutting that in is where does the cue ball wind up? Jonathan didn't quite get the angle on that 15. Wound up with it over there against the 11. Pablo gets a twofer. And line up on that 5 into the side next. Makes that shot. Looks like he's going to try and squeeze the 3 in here. Pretty tight squeeze. There's the danger of accidentally knocking in Jonathan's ball. Manages to avoid that though, get it in. Fortunately, he's got one up against the rail and the other behind the 8 ball. Looks like he can get a piece of it though on that one. And parks it right up against the 15. Well, the stripes were all laid out pretty easily into pockets, but now there's some work to be done. Jonathan's going to go for the cut shot here. Manages it. Oh, not going to get the bump. Big issue here is Pablo is obviously a pretty good shot. Don't want to give him any opportunities to run out here. But don't have a ton of options with what's going on this table. Defensive shot. Like Pablo is going to try and, oh, he's going to get a timeout call. I think Lewis is advising him to take a safety by bumping the one into the rail again and putting the cue ball on the opposite end of the table. It's probably a pretty good call. It leaves Jonathan with not a lot to work with for a shot. Oh, he goes for the cut. Doesn't scratch, but he's got a heck of a shot to try and make on that one and get a legal hit. You can't just try a thin cut because that's pretty much a recipe for getting a scratch. Calls for somebody to watch the shot. Good move. Hit the 15. Oh, looked like he hit the 15 to me. Person watching the shot apparently said it was a good hit. Jonathan goes for a defensive shot, bounces the 15 off of the rail. Pablo's going to have to take a kick at this. Going to be a pretty awkward kick with the 8 ball where it is. It's another timeout called. As a skill level 3, he does get 2 per rack. Okay, gonna try that kick. Manages it. Very nicely done. Now Jonathan's got a kick at it. Another option. This is considered a defensive play, so you would mark that as a defense. But just handing the ball to your opponent and giving them ball in hand is a legal move. Pablo's trying to figure a way in which he can make that one. Jonathan calling for somebody to watch the shot. That close, it's pretty easy to do a double hit, which would give Jonathan ball in hand. Neutral party says that's a good hit, so Jonathan's going to have to play that one where it is. He is most likely deciding whether or not he should take another defensive shot here or just go for it. Not sure if he can get by the 15 there to get, looks like the 13 in the corner cleanly. Ask for a timeout. And discuss those options. Knowing how good Jonathan is at defensive shots, I would honestly give him advice to take a defensive shot at this point and leave that cue ball right about where Jason's got his finger. Even if if he gets around the 13, gets the 15 all the way up, if the cue ball stays there and the 15 doesn't go, it's still a good defensive shot, kind of a two-way. Other option, of course, is try and get the 13 to go to the side. Also leaving the cue ball right there. Timeout running a little long. Timeouts should take a minute. There is no rule that says that going longer than a minute means you have to give ball in hand to your opponent, but it is a sportsmanship sort of a thing to try and always keep your timeouts to 1 minute or less during regular session play. In a tournament, that would be a bigger issue. No, 15 did not go, but didn't keep the cue ball down there either. So this is going to be looking to see if Pablo can make a pretty big cut. Nope, doesn't get the angle. Nice leave off of the 15 for the 13 there. A little bit of follow on this will give him a good shape on the 8. A little further than perfect, but not bad. He could still get that, even if the angle is a little more than he wanted for this cut. The 1 is likely to keep the cue ball from going anywhere dangerous. And he gets the 8. That puts Jonathan on the scoreboard with 1. Pablo's still on the hill, however, so he's going to have to keep Pablo from getting to the 8 ball in order to win this rack or in this match. Jonathan pointing out that Pablo didn't get the rack far enough up on the table. He's got it behind the spot. Well, we get 1 in off the break. Looks like the 5 ball. Easy rail shot for the 3. Lined up on the 2. Could take the 4 from here. Don't think he can get the 1 from there, but 2 is the obvious choice. It's a bit of draw on that. Lines himself up on the 4 ball for the side. Working his way around the table nicely. All right. Bump some stuff to get things free. He's got shape on the 6 that should put him onto the 7 or the 1. Now, I would probably go 7 first and then 1 second on this, which would line up for 8 ball up in the corner pocket there. Looks like Jonathan might be going for the 1 ball first, though. Would also work, but after the 7, going to have to do something with the cue ball to get line up on the 8. The angle he's got right now, the odds are that that cue ball is going to go way up table. Oh, distraction here. Jonathan stopped because somebody come up to the table and was messing with something on the floor. Seven goes in, and he bumps the 15 into the 8, blocking himself. I would probably just pick up the ball and hand it to my opponent at this point. Jonathan's going to go ahead and take a kick at this. I don't think it'll go by the 14, even if he touches it. Does not get a rail with anything. So ball in hand anyway. Did free up the 8, though, so I guess that's a positive off of taking the shot. Pablo gets the 12 and then a 13-9 combo. Puts the 13 in. The 10 as a bank right now is a little risky. 15 is a better choice. Yep. Doesn't get it though. Gonna bring Jonathan back to the table. He's on the 8, but the angle here isn't great. I don't think it's going to go by that 10 for the corner. He's going to mark it up though. He looks like he thinks it'll go. Be a bit worried about the scratch as well on this shot, but Jonathan, I believe, can avoid it without too much trouble. Good enough bottom on this thing. And it goes by the 10. Nicely done. That'll make it 2-1. Ooh, almost scratched that one. Looks like one of the stripes went in on that break. Oh, Jonathan misses the 12. Oh, the one ball is a very easy shot, and none of the rest are, as far as the solids go. So Pablo goes ahead and puts that in. Just misses the cut on the 3. Start off with a 15 to here. Unfortunately, that's a miss. Looks like Pablo's gonna try for the 6 here. Gets it. Well, he moved the 4 over close to the pocket, but he didn't leave himself where he could hit the 4 next. I think he's taking a look and seeing whether or not he can get around the 7. Bump the 14 into the rail, so a legal hit. And try for that 15 again, and it denied again. Got himself behind the 9, though, with the cue ball. Looks like Pablo can see the 7. It's enough to take a hit at it. Still not going in. Got the 14 tied up between the 5 and the 7 now, though. Eases the 10 into the side pocket. I'd be very tempted to take the 13 and put it into that corner there, possibly bump the 4 into the middle of the short rail. I think Jonathan's trying to figure out if he can keep the cue ball as close to that rail as possible. Well, he goes and takes the 12 into the 15 for it. That works. A little stun on the 9-ball shot there. 12 or the 13 look good. The problem is that 14 ball. Well, that moved one thing out of the way. He can hit the 14. Don't know that he can put it anywhere though, unless it goes by the 5 up into the corner. I think it's a little close to the 5 for that. Looks like Pablo is going to take up residence in front of the camera. Does have a tendency to stand pretty close to the table while his opponent is shooting. A lot of people will call a sportsmanship foul on that sort of thing. Jonathan goes for the defensive shot with a 14, unfortunately scratches. Gonna give Pablo a ball in hand. Got quite a bit of work cut out for him on the table though. Calls for timeout. Lewis kind of lays out the pattern he would try and work this off the table. Having seen Pablo shoot, he could probably execute 4 in a row. The danger to this, though, is missing 1 means that Jonathan gets back to the table, and he's only got 1 left before the 8 ball. And it's in a pretty good position to go in a couple of different pockets. So manages to get the 2 to start with. Pretty sure Lewis said 7 next in his directions. A bit of an awkward shot for Pablo, but he manages it. Gets the 4. Decent lineup on the last ball he's got on the table. Would have wanted a little bit more angle though, so that it was a lot easier to come down on the 8. Still puts him in a position to take that shot. I would have wanted to be a little closer to the 8-ball, not much, a little bit. Parks up the corner pocket. Danger here of a scratch. Doesn't quite get the angle. Probably worried about that scratch situation. Be a tough cut into the side here, but I've seen Jonathan do worse. The problem with it is that he's going to have to cut it pretty thin, which means he's going to have some speed on that cue ball. May not put him in a good position on the 8 afterwards. Calls for timeout. Once again, time is running a little long on this timeout. Looks like Jonathan went for more of a defensive shot on that. Just put the whole thing into a situation where it's a little harder to make that shot. Another timeout called for Pablo. Trying to get the cue ball on the rail and the 8 to come out enough to block, I believe, was what was going for there. Unfortunately, that did not work out for Pablo, so that's going to give a shot on this ball for Jonathan. I believe that's the 14 he's looking at. Nicely done. And mark up that corner. And right down the rail into the corner. That'll make it hill now. Not sure what the discussion is here, but Willis is trying to talk Pablo through probably one or two of the shots that he had on the table. At least one of the stripes in. And then goes ahead and puts in the 9 to follow up the break there. Puts 13 into the side. Starting to have to make some interesting choices on which ball to go for here. Should go into the corner easily enough. Nope, not quite. Unfortunately, leaves it on the rail as well. Pablo starts off his run on the 2 ball. Looks like he's going to go for the 6 on the short rail there. Manages that. Clear down to the other side of the table. Lines up on the 7. Rattles it in the one corner, almost puts it in the other. Kind of looked like he was going for the combo there. Oh, 5 with a stop shot. I would have wanted a little bit of draw so I could get a cleaner shot on the 7 here, but I was going to do a 1-7 combo. I'll leave that 1 ball alone for now and go for the 4. Unfortunately, misses the 4. Does not give Jonathan a real good shot on his next ball. I think you can get the angle on that one for the corner though. Yep, no problem. And ball goes in. We'll draw on this 15. Should be able to bounce it off the one if necessary into the corner. Wasn't necessary. Be able to put the 14 in the same way past that one ball, but he needs to get down here for the 15. He needs to get around the 8 to do it. It's a little bottom left on this. He might be going for 2 rails to get around the 4. Nope, straight up. Unfortunately, did not get the 14. Pablo manages the 3, gets himself shape on the 4. That 14 is pretty solidly in that pocket though, so I don't think he's going to be able to get around that very easily. Doesn't get the 4 ball in. Jonathan a shot at the 12, which should give him shape on the 14. And then he has to just get it back out of that corner for shape on the 8. Just enough draw. Gives him a nice position to get that 8 into the side. A little less draw could have worked as well. And the 8 in the side. That's going to be the decider for this matchup. Jonathan will win. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Really love to hear see your comments on this if we can. Thank you so much.